It's everyone's friend, it's Tyler. It's everyone's friend, it's Tyler.
Hey guys, Tyler here. Twitch decided to use gender-inclusive language because apparently English is not gender-inclusive enough for people like them. March is WHIM! X! History Month. Join us in celebrating and creating all the WHIM! X! Creating their own worlds, building their own communities, and leading the way on Twitch. I'm pretty sure that most people know the process of linguistic evolution, because once a society have agreed upon a certain word, a large number of the population start to use that word until it becomes part of the dictionary. Not many people use this word to describe the whole entire subsection of genders. Not to mention it's kind of funny because basically by replacing the X for women doesn't make sense, because it refers to those who are actually born that certain set of genders. English, for the most part, is relatively gender neutral in comparison to the Romance languages. Like the Romance languages like Spanish or French or Portuguese or Italian, they all use gender based upon the grammatical rules. However, for English case, it's mostly really gender neutral. We don't have stuff los, las, el, and las. We don't use stuff this, das, this, in German, whatever. Pretty much people who use English don't have to worry about that kind of stuff. And so I have no idea why they think it's a good idea to think, geez, English is not inclusive enough, so we're going to change the entire language by force. But let's continue on with the video.
Women creators are shaping the gaming space by building amazing communities, supporting each other.
I don't buy for a single second that you guys are actually supporting each other by having this whole entire campaign that centers upon inclusive language. What you guys are doing is ironically dividing people because of the certain gender that they have. If Women's History Month, of course, is supposed to be celebrating the whole entire history of women and their achievements, you guys are kind of doing a really terrible job at doing that by reducing the word, because apparently it's too sexist for you guys to actually use. You guys are actually treating the woman word like the N word. You're basically trying to say, well, see, the W word is so offensive, that's why we have this sort of language to use. And that's not going to work. That is not going to work at all. Because most people don't use language like that. Most people have no problems using woman or sister or aunt or whatever gender term to refer to a female. And so the only real people that are actually offended by this are the ones to make this term up to begin with.
There are so many beautiful, vibrant, talented, incredible women content creators on Twitch.
And they all gonna be all a race, just all a race. Thank you, Twitch, well done. Well done on promoting your women by, using a word that nobody uses by erasing their voices. Yeah, that's a very smart idea. A very smart campaign strategy to promote your women creators.
Women creators are shaping this industry in such a beautiful way simply by being themselves.
I say it's the contrary. And it's not because there are women either that are making the community actually bad. I say it's the contrary because every single time social justice just touch something, whether it's video games, whether it's the government, whether it's the businesses that we have right now for anti-racist training, all that kind of stuff gets ruined every single time it gets touched by that ideology, by ideologues. And so no, I don't think for a single second by having social justice ideology into gaming, into public spaces, that actually unifies people more. If anything, social justice actually divides people way more before it actually became mainstream.
Celebrate women on Twitch every day by being the representation that I seek.
I decided to start streaming shortly after I came out publicly. To me, the biggest reason was that I wanted to create the representation that I never really saw out there growing up.
I honestly don't understand that sort of push about representation, really. Now, I don't really care if there's diverse people representing themselves on Twitch TV or whatever, but the thing about representation is that it should be authentic, right? And I think sometimes like Twitch or whatever promote people just because they're a certain race of people or because they're a certain gender over everybody else, and that to me is not fair. I think it's fair for people to join your channel or your streaming whatever to actually, judge it by its merit and not because you're black or whatever because of your race and gender. That to me is idealistic, but sorry to say that's not our reality right now because everything about race, everything about gender has to matter the most.
I have this little corner of the internet that I'm able to just create this really nice space for people.
Honestly, I don't think no matter what you do, public spaces will never be nice. That's like the nature of the internet and the nature of the beast. No matter what you do, or what you say, or how nice you are, and whatever, you will never find like a perfect 100% public space that's actually 100% safe.
I want to show that I can do it so other people can also feel like they can do it.
I honestly don't understand this sort of idea of the lack of representation means that I should probably do something because of my certain race or whatever. Because to me, when I decided to become a YouTuber, I did not think that my race actually mattered. What I thought that mattered was my content that I produced to a global audience that are watching my videos. And so that includes, of course, trying to make it as good as possible. And yes, I have good days, and yes, I also have bad days, where I'm pretty much mistaken with my views. At the same time, I never thought for a single second that, I need to do something because of like a lack of representation. That to me seems weak. It's weak because I think that you should probably do something just because you're interested in it.
Women creators are needed in this industry so that the next generation never has to hear she's only successful because she's a girl.
That's kind of impossible nowadays because most companies are now just, promoting this idea about like equity, which is basically like equality of outcomes, not equality of opportunities. And so I don't think for a single second that many people for the upcoming generations to come would actually be hired based upon the merit, because it seems as though the Biden administration wants to have more people because of their race, because of their gender. It seems as though that businesses are also doing that too. And so sometimes, because you have these sort of policies that are in place, they're gonna question you if you really get the job because you're a woman. That's the unfortunate truth. But anyway, what do you guys think about this response? Tell me in the comment section down below. And as always, I'll see you guys in the next video.
It's everyone's friend, it's Tyler. He's your only black friend, so he's your best black friend. I wouldn't trade him for another black friend, because black friends are rare, as you should be aware. He smiles like Richard Pryor, so just sit and stare. It's everyone's friend, it's Tyler. It's everyone's friend, it's Tyler. It's everyone's friend, it's Tyler.